Well, good evening and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM. I come to you every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on 960 AM, or you can stream me online at saga960am.ca. All my podcasts and video casts are available after the fact on briancrombie.com. Tonight I've got an interesting person, and let me tell you, her bio is fascinating, and a bunch of her posts are very fascinating. Anita Heidema, and you got to get this. What she describes herself as is a rich life and business strategist for entrepreneur executives and chefs. Get that, and chefs. She creates mindset shifts and assists in implementing strategies for business. Anita, welcome to my show. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much for having me.
So entrepreneur executives and chefs, that's an interesting combo.
Well, when I originally started, I'm from the corporate world. So years ago, 20 years ago, I was hired a coach. My company hired me a coach with the different transformations that I was making in different positions. And so I started with executives that I was coaching when I started my own business. And then it turned into entrepreneurs. And now, because Dario, he's a chef, a lot of chefs have been coming to me lately to really strategize on restaurants and how they're getting through it. Like work-life balance is a real big thing for them as well. So it's all across the board, because I always look at building that foundation that's so important, and then we get into strategies within your business.
And this is your husband that's the chef?
Yes.
How long has he been a chef?
I guess he went for his training in Italy when he was 15. He's 54 now. So wow. He's cooked all over the world. And right now he trains at George Brown College as well for Italian cuisine. So Italian chefs to get their master's in Italian cuisine will go to his program at George Brown College. And then we also have a business together called Passionate Cooking as well. So there's lots of different facets to what we do.
So what is the secret to success in coaching chefs?
Well, I think it starts with work-life balance. It's very important. And especially right now, with everything that's going on, being able to pivot your business and change things. So the first thing is really understanding work-life balance, because you could be doing it 24/7 and then you end up getting burnout. And if you don't have yourself all together and what's happening and getting the focus and strategies in place to move forward with your business, you can get caught up and your business will fail. And your health will fail as well.
So I've interviewed a couple different chefs and spoken with a bunch. Some of the challenges are they eat way too much and gain way too much weight, or they drink after their shifts, and alcoholism is an issue. How do you deal with that?
How do I deal with those? Well, of course, I say don't drink in front of your clients. And that's a big one. And I get a lot of what I do from Dario and how he ran, I don't know if you know the restaurant Oro in Toronto.
Yep.
It was top 10 in Canada. So he was executive chef there. And, he always talked about how he would keep that balance. And when clients came in, he had people from all over the world coming in. He would make sure that he wouldn't have that drink. He's on the clock. So he would make sure he'd have a cranberry and club soda or something like that, but still be, enjoyable. As far as eating, I mean, he's rather fit. So a lot of the stuff, especially with the students, what he does now, he tastes, he doesn't always swallow, because you can't always eat everything that you have, but you need to be able to taste it. Right. So right. That's a key thing.
What a shame to have great Italian food that you taste, but you don't get to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he is working with students that are chefs as well. So when we go to restaurants, it's not like that. And so we get to go to some great restaurants around the world. And but sometimes with the students, I mean, they're still learning as well, right? And with the program, we end up going to Italy. So once they finish the program, the masters, they do a lot better.
Fascinating. So I have also interviewed some restaurateurs given COVID-19, and people are pretty down as to pretty negative as to what the pandemic is going to do to the restaurant business, talking about numerous different bankruptcies and failures. What do you think's the net result of what's going to happen?
Well, from what they say, there's going to be 4 to 5 businesses that are going to fail, which is huge. I think those numbers are absolutely crazy. But I mean, I think the people that really took the initiative in pivoting their business right away and restructuring was very important. And Dario and I, we do some consulting with restaurants as well. And we talk to them and say, maybe not bring your staff back, but utilize them in different ways. So let's say you're doing takeout at the beginning. It's important to utilize your staff to do that takeout. So maybe they're not serving at that time, so it keeps them employed, and it keeps the business going so that when things shift, they're able to do that. I like what a lot of the restaurants have done with the seating on outside. It's very, very important that the distance is there, but the ones that have opened, they've really opened the right way. And also some of them are not opening inside because they're realizing that they can strategize themselves and not open up right away inside. And it's not just about the money. It's about making sure that everyone is safe and being able to make sure that the proper staff is coming back as well.
No question. Well, I think that particularly in the summertime with this great weather, lots of people would love to be outside. And, Italian cooking, you go to Italy and in the summertime, and most of the indoor restaurants are completely empty because they've just spilled out into the piazzas everywhere in the plazas.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them have opened up. Some of our friends that have some high-end Michelin restaurants out there, they've really strategized properly. We've done some interviews on them if you want to go look at over at Pasha's Cooking and how they're coming back to serving people again and what they're looking at. Because, of course, the pandemic hit them much harder than it did here as well.
No question. We're chatting tonight with Anita Heidema, who is a executive entrepreneur and chef coach. We're going to take a break for some messages. Come right back in just a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour. We're chatting tonight with Anita Heidema, who is an executive entrepreneur and coach to chefs. What an interesting combination. Anita, you've been in this business coaching for 13 years, you say. What would be a key tip that you would give some of our listeners tonight?
Really, I think the key is always building that foundation, because there's a real connection between what you do in your life and what you do in your business. And it's really important that you connect the two. So for me, I still think the biggest thing is to take time for yourself every day. Because if you don't have that focus to what you're wanting to do, the business strategies are going to mean nothing. So it's really, really important to make sure you've got this up here focused and clear, that you're dealing with things properly, you're not procrastinating, you're clear on where you're going and focused. And the only way to do that is to take 30 minutes a day for yourself to really hone in on that.
To do what? To do yoga, to meditate, to go for
whatever that is you want. I mean, I've got different strategies that I do and I promote through my program. So what I do is exercise, do something that's active. And to me, that is getting out into nature. That's really, really important, to get out for a walk, do yoga, whatever that is that you're wanting to do, to be active and to bring up your cardio and some weight training. That you can do within 5 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day. That's easy to do. Meditation. I've got meditations because I'm a trained hypnotherapist as well. And I've developed meditations. And to me, that really calms the mind and you're able to really get focused if you meditate. So to me, meditating and journaling is also a very important thing to do, either in the morning or in the evening.
Okay. You have a book that was a bestseller on Amazon, I understand. And it was called Vitality Knox. What a great name. Tell me a little bit more about the book, if you could.
Well, here's the book right here. It's actually a picture of a door. And 13 years ago, you know how in your business you always build your avatar. Well, her name was Vitality. And so one night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I got up, how do I explain my business better? And the thought came to write a book. So it's a book about a girl named Vitality and her life lessons. And so she's sitting on a Muskoka chair, looking back and reflecting in her life previously. It's a fictional self-help book. And she reflects on where she might have missed something in her life to change moving forward. So the way it's done, again, trained as a hypnotherapist and NLP, you read one chapter a night.
Sorry, hold it. What's an NLP?
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay.
So it's actually focusing on the brain and how you can change what you're saying to be able to program the subconscious mind.
Okay.
Also with NLP, you can see by people what they're actually thinking and what they're doing. It's a really interesting thing. So me using my hands, it tells certain things about what I do, how I look. And it's a really interesting thing for being able to understand people, but also being able to understand yourself and transform yourself. So the book, you read one chapter a night. And what you do is you put a journal next to your bed and you will start to dream about those specific things. I have programmed it in there with some hypnotherapy that you can actually start to subconsciously think as you go to sleep about those things. How did you bring joy in your life? How can you do that forward? And you actually get a journal and you would write down what that is that you're dreaming about. And there's been such incredible insights over the last 6 years that have come to people. It's quite fascinating.
Why vitality, Knox?
Vitality is the actual lady that I created. So I have still in my office this 8.5-11 sheet with a stick girl, and her name is Vitality. So I used to be in the paper industry, and I was the first female sales rep that was in the paper industry way back then. And I transformed my business into dealing mostly with female entrepreneurs at the time, but of course that's changed over time. And so I created this little stick woman, and her name was Vitality. And I didn't think of myself as a therapist, even though, I've done the hypnotherapy, NLP. I think of myself as somebody that, is working with people that understand some of the concepts, know they want to move forward, and then be able to transition to what that is. So they are vital. They are already active. They already know many of these things. So that's where Vitality knocks. And knocks are those lessons on the door. Those knocks on the door, those lessons that come to you in life. So hence Vitality knocks.
But having a vital life and or having vitality is really quite a profound expression. It's far more than being optimistic or positive. It's having vitality. It's how would you describe having vitality?
To me, vitality is having mind, body, and soul, having yourself all together. But in this case with Vitality, it was where you're having some of those roadblocks. So when I created Vitality as a character and as my avatar for my business, it was somebody that knew where she was going and didn't know how to get there. So they had an idea of what that was, but there were still some blockages in where they were going. So Vitality to me is somebody that has that, but the character really doesn't talk about vitality in the way of what vitality we know as and what you're asking about. Vitality is just her name. And in the book, it names that she says, I don't understand why they call me Vitality, why they name me Vitality. And that's what the book is. So she's just a fictional character that's been created, but behind the stories that's how I created the name Vitality and the avatar for my business.
Well, I love it because I think vitality is one of the things, there's a couple of words that really resonate with me, and vitality is one of them. Audacity is another one. Daring is another one. I've always liked vivacious. And so I think you chose a good word. It's a word that emotes and a certain emotion about someone that's really vital, that someone that has a vitality in their life. So thank you for that. You talk a lot about habits. Why are habits so important, and how do they help you?
Well, habits are the foundation for transformation in your life, right? So it sets the intention first that you're going to make some changes and what those changes are going to be. And then habits actually create the momentum that brings you there. So, if there's only two things that you really do to start that foundation of your life, to build those habits and to set that half an hour aside is really, really important.
So what are some of the habits that you think business people have to create?
Well, again, taking that 30 minutes. Yeah, taking that 30 minutes for yourself is very, very important.
Yep.
Having time to strategize your business every week is very, very important. And that's why I get together with the entrepreneurs that I'm working with to make sure that they're focused on their business and those key activities. So putting that time strategy in place is very important as far as I see it. And that 30 minutes to keep yourself happy and healthy and active, right? That's really, really important so that you can build those strategies within your business and whatever that is.
I found it interesting in your write-up that you talk about building a healthy relationship is something that you have to build a habit around. How do you do that?
Spending time. It's very important to spend time with those people you care about. And what happens as entrepreneurs, we get caught up with the business and the systems and everything, and you don't take time for your family. And a lot of people, they have their relationships fail, whether it's a husband or wife, whether it's with your children, with your family, with your friends, because you spend so much time on the business and not on the right activities. And that's why coaching and having a mentor is so important, because you don't spend those on the right activities. You spend them on the ones that are wasted in time. So you can be able to prioritize your time and build those habits so that you can strategize your time properly.
How long of a time does it take to build a habit?
21 days. So that's what I say is 21 days.
Why 21 days?
21 days. It's always worked for me. So for 13 years, my first program was 21 Day Habits to Success, right? And the 21-day journey, that's what it is. It's about building that. And so it's been successful for me over 21 days. Now, can you get off the rail? Yes, of course. I mean, it's always something that you want to be able to keep, but think about that. Exercise. I don't know if you're somebody that works out, but once you start that over 21 days, that adrenaline, that feeling that you get, you don't want to change that. 21 days it usually takes for you to see some kind of results. So once you see the results in whatever you're doing, it's really, really important to make sure. So once you build those strategies within your day of having that 30 minutes that I talked about, that's important, or have that time set aside for those relationships, or that week that you spend that time to really strategize in your business, it gets easier because it just becomes a habit and you know it's going to be, oh, Friday I do my strategizing, or Sunday night, or whatever that is. And it all falls into place.
What's your mindset program?
So there's various mindset programs I have. The one thing is Mind Your Business class, which is talking about the subconscious mind and really programming what's happening. I have one that's coming out on Saturday, which is a new one that I've created with my clients that I decided to share with everybody. So I have a set group of clients of 200 that are in my mastermind group. And so I developed this program and I thought, you know what, now is a really, really interesting time to help people to program a positive mindset. With all the media we see out there, with all the things coming at us, there's so much sureness in everybody. The confidence levels are going down. People are getting very irritated, negative. It's just, we're getting bombarded with it, but yet we still want to look to the media to learn and grow, or find out what the results are so that we're not totally out of the loop. And it's a hard thing to do. So the newest one that I've created for Saturday, it's only Saturday till for 30 days, is creating that positivity and programming your conscious and subconscious mind to positivity with an activity every day that you do.
And this is a video that they watch. How long is the video?
The video is 5 minutes, 3 minutes, depending. It's one activity that takes them 5 minutes a day.
If people are interested, how do they sign up for it?
They go to the link, Anita Heidema /30/days positivity mind. You're gonna put it in a link somewhere, are you? Or nope. Okay. So they go to the link. They download an affirmation sheet, which has a whole bunch of things in it that you can be able to put on your sheet, put on your mirror. You know, I'm confident. Things like that will, you know, I've transferred. I bring abundance that programs the conscious and subconscious mind. And then every day, at 6 o'clock in the morning, you'll receive an email with an activity to do, and you can do that throughout the day. It takes seconds within a day, but you can program that throughout the day, and you set that time, whatever that time is in the morning. So let's say it comes to you at 6 and you decide at 7 that you're going to do the activity. The most important thing is to really listen to the video, because you have to close your eyes and really take it in, and that you do it for the 30 days, because that's when you get the biggest transformation.
Why is your tagline, aha moments for success?
Well, aha moments has always been something that's out there, but my name is Anita Heidema. So it's just a little bit of a tweak on what my name is. But those aha moments in your life are so important, those life lessons. And, you know, a lot of times we don't want to dwell on the past, but we want to learn from the past. So if we can keep attuned to those life lessons, like they are in my book, Vitality Knox, those aha moments, it's just transformational. Like I said, everything I do, I work with the foundation of who you are and what your life is like. And then we start working into the strategies to really, really move that forward. And that's really important to your aha moments, to your life lessons that happen to you in your life.
Fantastic. And have you found these aha moments for yourself?
Yes. And some of them you'll find in my book, actually, even though it's fictional. Some are clients, some are me. You'll never really know what the truth is. But yeah, some of them are from my clients as well and what they've worked through. And, you know, it's really important because sometimes there's some similarities and we attract and we bring in the same type of negative patterns that we've had in our past. And especially now during the pandemic that we're in, it's really, really important to keep ourselves focused, keep ourselves clear, and keep ourselves positive globally. It's really, really important to reach everybody and to keep in a positive mindset. You know, keep aware, but still keep positive.
Mental health, I think, is a real issue with social isolation and people worried about their jobs, about their businesses, about their real estate values, about the restaurants that might be suffering in their neighborhood, you know, everything. And so I agree with you. I think that ensuring that you keep your head up and keep positive is key.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much weight on everyone's shoulders right now. And, I was explaining this in an interview I had the other day, the fear is real. It is out there, even though we want to not talk about it, it is fear, but how do you set yourself up so that you can, get through this with your sanity somewhat and keep yourself intact, and positivity is a key thing to making sure that happens.
We're chatting tonight with Anita Heidema about her book, her coaching, her belief that chefs, executives, and entrepreneurs all need the similar kind of help, the power of habits, etc. We're going to take a quick break for some messages and come right back in just a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour, Saga 960. We're chatting tonight with Anita Heidema, who is a executive, entrepreneur, and coach for chefs as well. So entrepreneurs, executives, and chefs can all give her a call if you need some coaching. She's written a book that was a bestseller on Amazon called Vitality Knox, which I think is a great line. And she believes in the power of habits. And she believes in MLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. She also believes in hypnosis. And 30 minutes a day to develop your own self-positivity and be mindful and set your tone for the day. So lots of great suggestions from Anita. Anita, how did you get into coaching?
Well, it's probably around 20 years ago now that I was an executive myself, and they had hired me a coach. And at the time, coaching wasn't even popular then, but I was moving up the corporate ladder and, dealing with lots of people and clients and employees. So I had to go through this program. And I found it so empowering, and I found it quite transformational in what happened with me and how I was able to deal with my life and business and dealing with my employees. So I actually trained myself to be a coach and to work on this so that I could, because I was handling North America at the time and there was a lot of people and I needed to really understand and work with my employees. So from there, I ended up leaving and starting my own business. And at first I started with coaching and travel. So I brought groups of entrepreneurs down to Greece originally. I brought a group down on the Camino Trail, and we talked again about that foundation, how we did it around travel.
What trail?
Pardon me?
What trail?
The Camino Trail. Have you heard of it?
What's that?
It's a hike. It's a spiritual trail in Spain. So it actually starts in France. So there's a movie out there called The Way, My Way, with Emilio Estevez, and I try to remember the other gentleman is the key one, Martin Sheen, his father. And it's a hike you take, and it's really quite empowering. You just have a backpack. So we brought a group down there and the last chapter of my book is actually from the adventure that I had on the Camino Trail and the group that I brought down there. So
have you done it more than once or just once?
Just the one time.
And how?
I just personally had knee surgery, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to do it again. Dario and I would like to go on it. I don't know if it will bring a group because now we do mostly culinary trips. We don't do adventure trips like that. So
how long were you on the trek?
Pardon me?
How long were you on the trail?
It was 2 weeks.
And I understand you stay in a different little B&B every night and you go to a different church every day?
Yep. It's depending on what you're wanting with the group. So we ended up staying at B&B. We didn't stay in hostels. So we decided to do it that way. And we had set places along the way. And it really was. The amount of people you meet from around the world is quite fascinating. Everyone in their journeys and their stories. We get together for a drink afterwards and have our Camino tales. And this group was a bit different. It wasn't as organized as the other groups I do. Everyone was just going out and doing their adventure and seeing what happened. And where other ones I've done more workshop type of groups that I brought along. But this was more of an inspirational type of thing. I
got to tell you, I had to interrupt you because I have heard about this trek on numerous occasions. And actually one person told me that you should always do a little bit of research in it and have it planned and have it as your backup if you ever lose a job. Because if you ever got a couple of weeks with nothing to do and you've just lost a job and you need to go through sort of a decompression, a spiritual adventure, etc., the trail and the Camino Trail in Spain and France is the place to go. Do you agree?
I agree. It was a trend. So for me, my mom was ill during the time. So I was even thinking of canceling the group. I also was diagnosed with melanoma a month before and had done surgery. So there was a lot of stuff that was happening during that time. So for me, I found it very uplifting, relieving, even though life shoots stuff at you anyway. My mom did but die, and she was misdiagnosed, and there's a whole story around that one as well. But you still move forward, right? And that's what it's being resilient, and that you can complete it, because we live in this bubble where we think our surroundings are the way they are and there's no other way. So when you actually just have a backpack on your back and you're just walking and you're following arrows, it's the oddest thing when you come back, but it's such an inspiring moment to go through that. So I can see that there were many reasons. Some people went every year. There are people from Ireland that went every year. The year I went, there was some type of special religious, so I ended up getting a second certificate for some religious reasons. So there were people coming from all over the world for that, which wasn't our specific thing, but everyone has their why, and so if you ever get a chance, I really recommend you go on it.
Okay, thanks. So anyway, I interrupted you. I apologize. So you had one in Greece and then one in the Camino Trail, and you were doing this coaching, and what happened?
Well, then my business transformed. Like I said, my mom got ill. I was on my own taking care of her. So my business became more online, and I wasn't traveling as much. Again, you have to go with the flow, like we do with COVID and this pandemic. You gotta figure out your business and go through the waves to see where you're going with it. And that's why I ended up developing the business that I have now, and creating that for clients. And it's constantly evolving.
Okay, so what you had told me before was actually even more negative than what you've just described. So what you said before was that you were unemployed, divorced, alone, caring for a sick mom with dementia, 2 mortgages, and 2 children to raise as a single mother.
Yep. Sometimes it's too much to just throw all in one. So, but it was pretty bad. So do you want me to go through all the deep and dirties? Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you get out of that? That sounds pretty
So, I went through a divorce. I ended up buying out my ex. So I had 2 mortgages on the house that was the original house. So I was raising the 2 kids. I was making a very good income, and they asked me to go to California. I decided not to go, not realizing that at that point I was just a number and out of work. So I took everything that I could from my knowledge, being trained in coaching, which the company had done, my business background, and developed my business. So at that point, as you know, when you have a business, you have to work very, very hard to make it happen and still focus on what's important. But, my 8-hour days that I wanted to focus on my business became, maybe an hour, because my mom got ill. So she was diagnosed with Alzheimer, which ended up being misdiagnosed, and she has something called Lewy body dementia. Long story short, I ended up losing my mom. But at the time, with a business, you have to be able to be there. And I was having to cancel with my clients. I was having to change things, because of course my mom was more important, and taking care of her was very, very important. So, there was a resilience of dealing with all of that, and having your own business and moving it forward, and how to create that, and how to still be successful. Because at the end of the day, your business needs to be important to you, but you have to earn an income. You have to be able to be successful at your business, otherwise it's not any good. So, balancing all of that is really, really important. And every step and stone that we go through, we grow from it, and we gain the wisdom to be greater for the next journey.
So how'd you get through all that?
It was hard. I was on my own. Dario wasn't in my life at the time. He says, and we did know each other actually. So he said, I wish that we would have been together at that point, but it was difficult, and you just have to keep picking yourself up and looking to other ways. And, that's why with this pandemic and everything we're going through now, we're all feeling it. We're all feeling how hard it is, the unsurety of what's going to happen next. Are we going to have a second wave? How do we plan to do our business, and what we need to do to move forward? We're getting inundated with social media, with it's too much stimulations, and even this program that I offered for my clients that's starting this Saturday, they're loving it. And I thought, well, I want to offer it to everybody, but I'm not sure if everybody's ready for it, because they've had so many things coming at them. I know it would be transformational for them if they did come on over to the free programming, but there's just so much going at you and you don't realize what to do. So you need to take a little bit of time aside. And that's what I always did. I'd meditate and things would come clear to me and what the next step was. And I had to put my big girl pants on and move forward. And that's what was really important.
Well, it sounds like you certainly had your challenges and that you were resilient and that the big girl pants fit. So congratulations.
maybe too good that I didn't really want it to.
But, so many people find their way out of the tough times with some new vision for their life, and that it motivates them to do something. Not many people actually start new businesses and come up with new ideas and have the get up and go and put on their, whatever you want to call it, big girl pants or whatever, in the good times. They do it coming out of the tough times. The tough times are what motivates you to make those changes. Yeah.
It sure does. When you're sitting there and you don't, I remember that, like not knowing what to do. I can still remember that, being at the counter and my hands in my head in my hands, and I was crying and I was like, what am I going to do? I still have a little bit of the spiritual way. I find that signs come to you. So for me, it was a program that came to me because at the time I didn't have any kind of unemployment or anything like that. I went literally from 6 figures to 0, and I had to figure out how to make things happen, and things come to you if you really look. And there was this program that was available that was for free, and I thought, oh, this is neat. And being an executive and doing really well, I thought to myself, why am I taking this? I thought at the time it was a little program, but you know what? You gotta, like you said, get your big girl pants on. And there's always something to learn from every single situation, thing that you do. So in some ways, I knew a lot of what was happening there, but there was always a bit to be able to pick up. So to me, that was something that really, really put my foot forward. And I think of it sort of as a mentoring type of thing and someone that can guide you. And that was really, really important. And that's why I really believe this program that's happening on Saturday is really important as a stepping stone in building that foundation to bring success in your life and business.
What about the book? What motivated you to write the book? And are you writing anything new?
Well, it's kind of woo-woo again, I guess, I think, because it would be 3:00 in the morning. I'd wake up and I'd think about this book and writing it. And it's a bit different. Like later on, I found out that there's the Canadian coach out there that stole his Ferrari or something. The monk that stole the Ferrari. I forget what his name is. But anyway, I figured out that he wrote a book similar to this, and it talks about a fictional self-help book, and that's what it is. And so I wanted to get the message out there how important life lessons were. So I've taken some of the comments from the book, because you're supposed to really read each chapter and look to it and write what your feelings are, and then also journal in the evening. But there's a lot of transformational things that happen from this book to be able to carry through as well with this program. So I do use a lot of quotes from it. And doing this positivity mindset program that's coming out on Saturday.
How do I get a copy of the book? Is it available still?
Yeah, it's available on my website, Anita Heidema. You can download there. It's through IC Publishing. Amazon has it. They still got the book out there. So I got number 2 that's under my belt that I wrote in Italy. So I'm just waiting to tweak some of that and come out with the second one. But it's same kind of similar type of message, but Vitality has some new dramatic things going on.
Robin Schwarmer.
That's it. Yes, thank you. He's a great guy. I like what he does.
We're chatting today with Anita Heidema, who is a coach for executives, for entrepreneurs, and for chefs. She's written a book of Vitality Knox, and she's got a program of a 3 to 5 minute video starting this weekend that's all about inspiration and trying to get your life in order. We're going to take a break. Stay with us. We're going to come back with some concluding comments in just a minute. Well, welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960 AM. We're chatting tonight with Anita Heidema, who is a coach for executives, for entrepreneurs, and interesting enough, I keep saying this, but I still think it's kind of interesting, for chefs, because her husband is a chef, and she got involved in providing coaching to a bunch of chefs. Anita, what are sort of your lessons learned? What are the keys to your belief in coaching?
For myself personally, or what you're saying from my clients?
For your clients, for everyone listening tonight.
I think a lot of it is to really for success to really hone into what that is that you're wanting, your root success, to me, that's really, really important. Everyone has a different thought to where they want to go in a different process, to what's important to you. So it's important to be able to hone into what that is, and then make sure that you have the right action plans to be able to move forward, to make sure that success is going to be continued.
What about the 30 minute a day?
Oh, the program. Yes. The program is available for this Saturday. It is a mindset program that is 5 minutes a day that you download. It's going to be from August 1st, August 30th. I did create it for my clients, and now I'm offering it to everybody, but I am going to just do it from the 1st of the August. It's 1st of August to the 30th in this month. It's important to do that 5 minutes a day and to do it for 30 days. And then you'll be able to really see the transformation in what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're attracting to your life. And you'll find that you'll procrastinate less, you'll be a lot happier, you'll think positive. You won't even have these negative thoughts that are coming into your mind as often as you normally do. And it's really important during these times, especially to think clearly and to go through the program.
But also what you say is that people should dedicate 30 minutes a day for themselves.
Yes. So this program is 5 minutes a day, but I really believe that overall you should have 30 minutes a day. So that's something to be active, to exercise, to do something for your mind, body, and soul, to journal, to do positive affirmations. All of those things come together. And that's actually in another, one of my videos that I do that talk about what your routine should be within a day. But, it's good to sit down and really understand what that is you want. But exercise, doing something for the mind, learning and really strategizing where you want to move forward in your life is really important in that 30 minutes.
You also, in your write-up, Tommy, said that you think it's important to enjoy the moments and the people you love. Explain.
Mm-hmm. It's very, very important. I think we get so caught up with what we have to do, and we forget to laugh and to enjoy life. So that's why, take those 30 minutes and then you can put it aside and you can enjoy some things in your life that you just can be fun. We forget to have fun. So, create those habits and do those things, but also have some fun as well.
Well, I think those are great principles to live by. So thank you very much for sharing them. And remember that you can, number one, get Anita's book either on her website or through Amazon. And that this Saturday, she's starting a program for free of regular videos. And you can get that via her website. And I'll put a link in the promo to this show so that you can link up and get access to it. Anita Heidema, coach to executives and entrepreneurs and chefs. Oh, and I got to ask you, so what about this culinary trips? How do I sign up for those now?
Well, our other business's passion is cooking. And so far we've done a lot of them in Italy so far. And Dario has a lot of connections out there. And of course, I've met with people as well. But we're looking at expanding because Dario speaks 4 languages. He's cooked all over the world. And so he really understands the culinary. He really understands. And part of what I didn't mention is I do have a big travel background too. So we're able to really put that together to make really exciting and fun culinary trips for people. So.
And are you going to combine the culinary with the coaching, or no, is it just culinary?
Right now we do the culinary. We've thought of putting some of the coaching in there because whenever we've done it so far, people usually ask, and a lot of them are entrepreneurs that end up coming, couples, entrepreneurs, foodies, retired people, and they're still trying to figure things out. So I do find that my services end up coming in there somewhere, but it's really intended to be a fun time of food and fun and laughter and really the culture and understanding the country and where you're at. With Dario having 4 languages, it's easy, right? Because he can immerse into speaking with people and really have a great adventure.
If someone wants to sign up for that, how do they do that?
Well, over at Pasha's Cooking, so we don't know when we'll be doing it again. We're hoping for next September we'll be doing Tuscany. So go over to Passion is Cooking, and then you'll see us there and all our culinary adventures and recipes and tips and things that we do over there. It's a lot of fun.
I did a culinary school in Tuscany once, and it was just one of the most enjoyable days of my life.
Where did you go?
So it was a gentleman that owned a cooking school and a restaurant in Vancouver that owned a big, compound in the Tuscan Hills. Do
you remember what his name is? Because anyway, Dario knows somebody that wanted him to work there.
Alexander or something like that. I don't remember. But he has a restaurant in Vancouver, a restaurant in Whistler, and a culinary school in Tuscany. I can't remember his name right now, but it was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, Dario, I think he knows that gentleman and his place that he has in Tuscany. So that's interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It is really, for me, I when I met Dario, I had a little bit of culinary background, but it's like a whole new world for me. It's been really fascinating.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going
Thank
to
you
take
so
one
much,
final
Frank.
break, and I'm going to come back with some concluding comments in just a minute. Thank you.